Student, in the last video we have discussed about the North America, the physical feature we have started, that was Canadian Shield. In this video I will explain you about the Western Cordilleras, that is given on the page number 66. So you will start with the first paragraph over there. The Western Cordilleras are the young fold mountain that run parallel to the west of North America. They run from North Alaska to the South Panama. So when you will see the map of the North America, so these are your Western Cordilleras. So these complete western side, the mountain ranges, this is called the Western Cordilleras. Okay, so that run from your North Alaska, it's given here, Alaska range from here to the south of the Panama, it's here. So this is what this range occupies from that portion to here. So this is what given regarding the feature, where is the location of this feature about the Western Cordilleras. These mountains are a series of ranges that attain the greatest width in the middle. So when you will see this map of which is given in your particular book, so that you will see in the northern portion it is narrow, but as you come to the middle portion, the width of this range increases. This is what given here, and again down it just become narrow. So this is what it is said here. These mountains are series of the ranges attain its greatest width in the middle. Now next is given the highest of these ranges is the Rocky Mountain range. The other mountain ranges are Western Cordilleras are the Alaska range, Coastal range, Cascade range, Sierra Nevada and the Sierra Madre. So I would like to show you, it is also given in your map also. This is your Alaska range, it's given here, Alaska range, then your Coastal Mountain range, then your Cascade range, Sierra Nevada, and here is your Western Sierra Madre. So these are the range of the mountain. Ranges are the mountain which are, there are so many mountain in a series. This is called a range. Okay. The Western Cordilleras are young fold mountain which were formed during the same time as the Himalaya. So as in Asia, in India, as the Himalaya, it is said the origination of the Himalaya. So was the time when the Western Cordilleras were being they were originating, they were being built. So they are also characterized by the hot spring and the geyser. Now features, when you will go through about it, so what you will find there, hot spring and the geysers are the common features there. The Yellowstone National Park in USA is very well known for such phenomenon. So this Yellowstone National Park, it's a park in USA, where it's a natural park. So this is what here, this is also one of the famous site there in the North America. Active volcanoes are located in Alaska and Mexico. So Alaska again on the top, and the Mexico here. So this is what here, Alaska. So here these mountain ranges and your Mexico ranges here. So these mountain ranges are active. That means the earthquake is quite possibility is there that the earthquake can take place. This is why it is called the Pacific Ring of Fire. Okay, this is volcanoes are the part of the Pacific Ring of Fire. So that means that the chances of earthquake is more. Now Mount McKinley is located in the Western Cordilleras and is the highest mountain peak of North America. Now you should find out where is Mount McKinley. It's given there. When you will find in your map, it's given there in the Alaska ring. This is the Mount McKinley and it is the highest peak over here. Okay, this is what I have made a ringment of the atlas. You must be having the atlas. You can study with that also. So this is what given in here. Mount McKinley is located in the Western Cordilleras and is the highest mountain peak of North America. These high snow-covered mountains cause relief rainfall. So they are since they are high, of course there will be the snow, and the rainfall when it comes down, these snow when come down in the form of rivers, so it's a great relief. Hence the melting snow and the rain cause many rivers to originate from here. So since when the ice will melt from the mountain, of course they will form the river. So there are many rivers which are originating from these mountains. The river also carve out gorges in the plateaus like famous Grand Canyon. By the Colorado River, when the river do not flow out the ocean, they form of island drainage such as Great Lake, Salt Lake. So some of the river, they when they come down from the mountain, there is a situation, it appears that there are the hills and valley formed. Okay, so that happens, and some of the river, they don't meet to the ocean, so they remain inside the area which form the lake type feature. So the one of the example it's given there, Great Salt Lake. Now many intermountain plateau like Columbia, Colorado and Mexican are found between the Pacific coast of the Rocky Mountains. So there are these kind of a intermittent plateau you will find in your map. It's given there, you can mark it out. Now coming to the central lowland. Central lowlands are, or the prairies, are found between the Western Cordilleras and the Canadian Shield. So these are the these ranges. Can you see this yellow portion, Great Plains? So this is your Canadian Shield, this portion, and this is your Western Cordillera. So in between this yellow portion, these are the plains, which is called your central plains. Okay, this is what given here. So it's about these plains are not completely flat but are generally undulating. The plains are drained by two main river systems. One is the basin of the Mackenzie River in the north, which drains into Arctic Ocean. So this is Mackenzie River. Again, I would like to tell you, it's here, Mackenzie River. You just see, this is Mackenzie Mountain and the river. So it just move into the Arctic Ocean. This is what here, Mackenzie. Okay, this is the river which moves. So this is one of the northern portion, and the next is what given here. The other basin is the south, drained by Mississippi River. So in the north is your Mackenzie River, which comes here in the Arctic Ocean, and the south is your Mississippi River, which is given here. Just when you will go through here, it's a Mississippi River which come down to the southern portion. Here it is the Gulf of Mexico. So the two important river which we have discussed just now. Then the next page we will see what it's given about the central plain. Please read the chapter thoroughly to understand it. Missouri River and the other tributary which flow in the Gulf of Mexico, that is the part of the Mississippi. The north-south extent of the prairie is about 6,000 km, while the east-west extent about 2,000 km. So north-south extent of the prairie, this is what your north-south extension, about 2,000 km is about, and while the east-west direction is about 2000. So this north to south is your 6,000 km, and from your east to west, okay, so that is your 2000 km. These rivers have deposited silt to form the fertile plain. So these rivers form a kind of a fertility it brings to the plain area. Now coming to the Appalachian Highland, another name for the eastern highland is the Appalachian Mountain. These are old fold mountains which were once very high. Appalachian, it's given in your book also, you will find it very easily. It's here, Appalachian Mountain. Here it's again a mountain range. Okay, it's a very high mountain range in the eastern portion. These are old fold mountains which were once very high. They run parallel to the narrow east coast for a distance of about 2,500 km, with an average height of approximately 1,000 meter to 1,800 meter. So this is a you just can see the height, distance, and other thing which is given here in detail. The Appalachian began near the Newfoundland in the north of Atlanta in the south. The major mountain ranges in the highlands are Green Mountain, the Blue Ridge, and the White Mountain. Mount Michele is the highest point of the highland. So when you will come to this Appalachian Mountain, you will get the idea of Blue Ridge Mountain and the other mountain which is given here, Mount Michele. It is a high mountain over the Appalachian area. Okay. Now Piedmont Plateau lies between the Appalachian and narrow coastal plain found in the East River that rise in the highland and cross the plateau, drops sharply to the coast in a series of waterfall, and is known as fall line. So what happened, Piedmont Plateau is that, so river generally they come down through the mountain, and sometimes they cross the plateau, and again there is a waterfall. So that kind of a waterfall is known as a fall line. The waterfall along the fall line are also used to generate hydroelectric. When the river reach its coastal plain, they use for the transportation, since they now flow slowly and become navigable. So when the water come down in the form of water flow, there the water current is high, so the potentiality is high, so there the hydroelectricity can be generated, so through the scientific method. But when this water come and take the form of a river in the coastal area, when they meet, so that becomes very slow. So then that river is being used for the transportation and the navigation. Now coming to the major water body, North America has several large river and lake which have played an important role in economic development of the continent. Now rivers and lake. The rivers in North America that flow northward are Mackenzie and Nelson. So it's again in the book you will see here there is a Mackenzie. This was Mackenzie, okay, and the Nelson also you will find there in your book. Okay, this is over here Nelson. This is Mackenzie. This is Nelson. So they are the important river in the northern portion. So Nelson has its source in the Lake Winnipeg, flows into the Hudson Bay. So this Nelson River, you just see this is a Nelson River, here is your Winnipeg. This is the source from which the river originate and meet in the Hudson Bay. Okay, so every river has its source, maybe some mountain or the lake. The Mackenzie River had its source in the Great Slave Lake and its flow into the Arctic Ocean. When you see the Mackenzie River, it has also its origination. This is your Great Slave Lake. From here it originate and meet in the Arctic Ocean. So again, when you see other rivers, among the river that flow eastward, the largest is the St. Lawrence River. The Great Lakes and St. Lawrence combine to make the St. Lawrence River system. So when you see in the eastern side, you will get the St. Lawrence. Okay, this is what here the St. Lawrence is here. The river, there are so many lakes over here. So that is the origination, the point, and they make the system St. Lawrence. Okay, so eastern is your St. Lawrence system. Then the Mississippi and Missouri flows southward in the Gulf of Mexico. The tributaries of Mississippi are the Ohio, Arkansas, and the Missouri. So here you will see this kind of a system again in the south. There is a river together. This is Missouri, Arkansas, okay, and Ohio is also. So they form the system and they come down in the Pacific. That is the Gulf of Mexico down to the south. Okay, this is what given here. Then again you will see it is the Mississippi, Missouri, the largest river system in the North America. The Rio Grande River, also called the Rio Bravo, originates from Colorado. It is one of the longest river in North America. The river that flows toward the west are the Yukon. So Rio Bravo, that is your Colorado. So it's here Colorado. When you will see, it's here that through which it's originate. Okay, so the somewhere it's you will find it in the map there, Colorado, how it is important. Okay, so that also it's given in your book. When you will go to the map, you will get it. So it is one of the longest rivers in North America. The river that flows toward west are the Yukon that flows into the Bering Sea, and the Columbia River, which is used to be called Oregon earlier, and it is the source of the Columbia Lake. Bering Sea, it's given here. You just see this is the Bering Sea, and here it is the flow here. Yukon is there. Okay, so this is how the river flows out here in the Bering Sea. So you have seen just now there are so many rivers which have originated from different lake and the mountains. Which is used to be called Oregon earlier, and it has the source of Columbia Lake. It reaches the Pacific Ocean through the large estuary. The Colorado River flows into the Gulf of California, and the river has a famous Hoover Dam on it. Fraser River originates from the Rocky Mountain, and it flows into the Strait of Georgia. So Rocky Mountain is over here. These are the Rocky Mountain. From here the river originates, and it flows in the your California in this portion. Okay, so this is what your main rivers you have to learn and underline the important points and go through your objective. Thank you, and read the chapter properly.